नहीं है, ठीक? हाँ है, करो।
Okay, guys, we are live now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel Tech Tutorials with Piyush. And thank you very much for joining us today. I promise it's gonna be an informative and exciting session. So we're gonna wait for few minutes. I'll give some time for others to join, and then I'll introduce my special guest for today. And yeah, so let's wait for a few minutes. Okay, so we can see we have 7 people watching us. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I'm just gonna wait for a few minutes for others to join, and then I'll introduce my today's guest, and then we can kick off the session. So in the meantime, you can introduce yourself, where you're from, what you do, what brings you here, and like what are your expectation from this session. Feel free to comment in the in the video, and we'll be more than happy to take your questions. And yeah, I guess we could start now. So let me just add our special guest for today. Hello, Sandeep. Thanks for joining us today. How are you doing?
Great, great. I'm glad to be here and
Thank
excited to
you very
see
much.
all the questions that coming from the viewers.
Yeah, thank
And
you very much.
yes, so everyone can like ask, feel free to ask any question that you guys might have. And I think Piyush is here, I'm here. I think God have already started commenting.
Hi,
So
Gaurav. Thank you.
yes, I think
So
we can. Okay, someone I think else also commented is Senegal. Ji, bring me. Okay,
okay,
so
so as you can see, guys, today we have a very special guest with us. Thank you very much, Sandeep, for accepting my request to join the session. So, guys, if you are a cloud enthusiast or a DevOps working professional or enthusiast or a student, then this name needs no introduction. For but for those who don't know Sandeep, so I'll just give a quick introduction of him. So Sandeep is a cloud and DevOps engineer having more than 12 years of experience. He's a AWS hero, a mentor, a teacher, and a lot of things. He's been taking these LinkedIn and YouTube live session for past many years. So feel free to check out his channel. I have mentioned the channel in the description section as well. Okay. The reason why we are doing this today is because many people have reached out to me in the past few months over LinkedIn and YouTube and asked me different queries related to their career progression, skill upgrade, and roadmaps related to cloud and DevOps. I always try my best to answer those queries, but sometimes it becomes difficult as the number of DMs grows, right? So I decided to put on a live podcast to answer those queries that many of us face, and who could be a better person to answer those other than a DevOps and cloud guru himself, right? So
thank you,
go ahead and
thank you for the
ask your
compliment.
questions. Yeah, so go ahead, ask your questions. So remember, no question is a silly question. You can ask anything you want. And yeah, I guess so, Sandeep, we are good to start.
Yes, yes, definitely. So, guys, start commenting. Like, this is a great opportunity. I mean, Piyush is here, I'm here, and we're both DevOps guys. So, feel free to ask any DevOps or cloud question. I think, Piyush, you already might have some existing questions that I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
we're already
I
getting
do
a lot of
have.
people. We
Yeah,
can start
yeah.
with that. And you guys just keep commenting, keep asking questions, whatever question you have in your mind, and we'll be answering them. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be start taking questions as soon as we have them. But for now, I'll start with the questions that we have. You know, the questions that people have been asking to us for past some time. So Sandeep, the first question, like which could be $1 million question, how to get your first DevOps job without the actual working experience?
Okay.
Like many people have asked this question, and like you might have also heard this question a lot of times. Yeah. So
And see,
yeah.
the question that I have in first, how I can become a DevOps engineer when I was actually a cloud engineer or as a programmer, right? Because my base was actually programming and then cloud and then DevOps. So I also have the same question: how I can become a DevOps engineer. I was like looking at the DevOps take, how I can. So it actually a requirement was there that I am a DevOps. I mean, I am a programmer. I know the cloud. I have to deploy my solution to the cloud such a way that my changes, whenever I'm making any changes, it should get deployed. Any problem, we can have a quick delivery. There should be a feedback loop from the customers and quickly make adjustments to the solutions, right?
Yeah.
So that may be interesting in the DevOps. Okay, that's the interest part. So
Yeah.
someone want to come into DevOps,
Mm,
they should understand the requirements
mm,
and they should have an interest to come into the field. That's the basic thing. Now, say the person is interested to become a DevOps engineer. how to approach it. A lot of tech is in the DevOps, a lot of skills are required, right?
Mhm.
So you have to pinpoint, like focus the basics part. So basics of DevOps.
Yeah.
So basics of DevOps in the sense you should know the Linux, the scripting. But these are like in the layman's terms, these are the basic things. If you don't know it, you will have
Yeah.
a lot tough road ahead of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basics, Linux skills, shell scripting. Then you should also understand how the cloud work, how the SDLC or software programming flow and release work. Because
Yeah.
as a DevOps engineer, you will see most of cases you have to do the release management, you have to do automation of the deployment, build process, and all. So these are the very common things. And now these days, it's not just limited to that as CICD. You are
Yeah.
doing the infra as a code using Terraform, or say
Yeah.
you have cloud formation and
Mhm.
resource Azure resources, a lot of things, even Pulumi and new things that keep coming, right? But you just go with the market leader. Say Terraform is the market leader for infra as a code, so you go
Mhm.
for it. So
Yeah.
any DevOps tech, you look at the market demand, see who are the market leader at this moment, and try to master them first. That will help you to get a first job in the market, because that's demanding. That is from very old, and there is a lot of demand is there. And
Mhm.
if
Yep.
there is
Yep.
demand, there will be, I mean, you will get a much better chance, right?
Sure. Yeah. That's really a valid point. Yeah.
And just to say in the same phase here, for CICD also, there are a lot of like every cloud having their own solutions,
Mhm.
but always go for first is the
With
open
the
source
market
part, like
leader. Yep.
Jenkins.
Yep.
Jenkins,
Yep.
because if you go
And
to
it
any,
is, and Jenkins is a market leader as well in CICD.
exactly
Like
for the
it's been
CICD part,
there for so long, and yeah,
yes,
there is no doubt in that. So I
and
guess
you
Sandeep, that answer this question
a
as
lot of
well
things.
that Gaurav asked recently. Which cloud provider do you think has better beginner learning path? So I guess that has the same answer, right? You should go with the
Yeah,
cloud leader. So no doubt AWS.
AWS
So
right now is the best
yeah,
choice to go for.
but
Best.
again, like as we are emerging today nowadays, AWS, Azure, GCP, like whichever cloud provider you would choose has the equal opportunity, has the equal learning capabilities, and no matter which cloud you learn, you will get the basics right. Like if you get the basics right, you can always move from one cloud to another, or you can work on
Actually,
multiple clouds at the same time.
that thing called mental modeling. So in our terms, we call it mental modeling. So you
Mhm.
create a
Yeah.
model of services like, okay, compute EC2, then
Mhm.
same will call in say Azure compute, or maybe just the instances, whatever the
Yeah.
terms in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
just
correct.
just
Yeah.
make a mental modeling, and you do
Yeah.
prepare all that. So that I always do. I
Yeah.
am working day and night on AWS, but I also know I have a mental modeling for Azure and GCP. So
Yeah.
that customer asks me, why not Azure, why not
So
GCP? You have to keep answer ready
So
for
you're
them also,
working
right?
day. So you're working day and night in AWS, and when you are not working, when you are sleeping, you're working on GCP and Azure. So it's
No, not
always in back of
that.
your mind. Yeah,
Yes, you have to. That's what I'm saying. You
yeah,
have to get a
yeah,
mental
yeah,
model if required. I do have my own notes, so I keep my own notes ready.
yep,
Sometimes we keep forgetting things, like while working
yep,
this and
yep,
that. I just look at my note. I don't keep it to myself. I do
yep,
release or share them LinkedIn a lot of time,
yeah.
whenever I get chance. But
Yeah, I have. I have also, downloaded many
yes,
times your notes, and it was really helpful. So yeah,
yes,
I guess like that is the
hmm,
perfect answer to this question, because like how I started as well, I started with AWS, then I moved to Azure, now I'm working with GCP. So once you and I got this
yes,
job because of my
hmm,
previous experience in AWS and Azure, not because of GCP. I,
exactly,
I never had any GCP
exactly.
experience. So because the cloud fundamentals, the cloud basics are same, it just name of services are changeable.
Are different.
And
Yes.
yeah, so yeah, yeah, okay, cool. So the next question we have is from Kapil is asking, I have 3.5 years experience, I am working in implementation project, how can I become a DevOps engineer?
So again, to become a DevOps engineer, you need certain skill set. Okay, anyone, suppose any from any tech field or non-tech field, like this is
Mhm,
very common these days.
mhm.
You need to have common set of skills. I think in the beginning I was talking about like basic Linux and scripting, all the OS knowledge that is required. And just after that, you should have one programming language, any one
Yeah,
backend
yeah,
programming, for the sake of automation work, because we will
yeah,
get a lot of responsibility to automation work. I think you also may be getting the Google. I know that. I'm not going deep into that, but I know already about that. So you need to run automation, and for that you need one backend programming. Again, that can be done by Linux, but that will be more complicated than a programming language. So better to do with either Python or say Golang or
yeah,
any backend other like JavaScript or Node.js. So that you can go for. And after that, you need a knowledge in the infra as a code. Now again, there also I will suggest to go for the market open source first, like
Yep.
Terraform and other projects.
Yep. Yep.
And then suppose you have a proprietary requirement, then you look at AWS cloud formation on
Mm,
GCP cloud deployment, that kit, and other things are there. Like there are a
mm.
lot of tools. So first
Yep.
focus
Yep.
on the open source, then go for the proprietary, and then comes to that you should have the knowledge on the configuration management. Now what is the configuration management? In suppose you have 10 100 1000 2000, so that scale you
Mm,
cannot possibly manage everything, like any software installation or
mm,
uninstallation, or maybe enabling a service,
mm.
deactivating a service, restarting all the instances. You
Mm.
cannot do manually. Now
Yep.
easy way
Yep.
to do that via this kind of configuration management like Ansible, Chef, Bgrant, this kind of tools.
Yeah.
I will again suggest go for the Ansible. That's the market
Yep.
leader. Again,
Yep.
always look for
Again.
open source for market leader.
Yeah,
And
and
just
if
on
you have
that,
worked with
yes,
market leader, then it is easier to
yes,
adopt any other tools. It's just a matter of
exactly,
the tool,
exactly.
right? So yeah,
And
that's. Mhm.
then lastly, the monitoring and alerting solution. Again, there also you have a lot of things, but most cases, when you are where you're hosting your services, say AWS, then it's a by default choice to go for the, say, CloudWatch. Suppose it's a, and every cloud have their own monitoring solution. Go for that. But these days, at least if you're like most people now going for the Kubernetes, right? Kubernetes and container based solution. So for those case, you should move for the Prometheus Grafana or maybe ELK
Yep.
stack. Now
Yep.
that's all depend on the requirement resources you have or you
Yep.
need. Go for that one.
Yeah. But now that like most of the services that we have, like maybe cloud provider services such as Kubernetes or any
Yes,
other
yes,
managed services that we have today's world, so because they are managed by the cloud provider themselves, right? We
yes.
don't have to worry about the patching and all those administrative tasks. So like how relevant is configuration management in that aspect?
Still, I mean, see, you need to do that. The upgradation. You don't rely upgradation on the server side because that might be a big challenge. You don't know when they're upgrading, and it's a problem. So they actually, what they do actually, they give you time. This upgrade by this, or say
Yeah, so
by
there is a
this month,
maintenance window that you
maintenance
can
time,
set.
and
Yeah.
you do maintenance via say Ansible. That will be faster, right?
Mhm.
Because ultimately these nodes are managed node, right?
Mhm.
And managed node doesn't matter. I mean, you are like using EC2 or maybe some compute, but it's
Mhm.
your responsibility to the patch. Like they are only responsible for the master node. Always remember that.
Mhm.
Any cloud.
Yep.
And we as a customer, as an engineer or the client engineer, we are responsible for all the worker nodes, or say
Yep.
the nodes where you are running the other workload. So
Mhm.
that you have to patch. Again,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that also, it's better
Yeah.
to use tools like Ansible. Like
Okay.
just if you think about the Kubernetes container based,
Mhm.
that will be better.
Okay. Okay. So we have another questions from Gaurav. He asking to get a cloud job, we are normally asked for prior experience. How can one tackle that if they are starting from zero?
You need a sample or demo projects because they cannot
Yeah.
blindly believe you, right? I mean, they are
Yeah.
asking experience because they might have production workload and one junior
Yeah.
can just go and click any
Yeah.
button and that
Yeah.
might destroy their business.
Yeah.
See,
That's
like they are running their business to make profit and they have their own SLAs. If
good.
you destroy anything, they are
Mhm.
responsible to pay for their SLA. So
Mhm.
nobody wants to pay with the production. That's why they require experience, but they also want some maybe lower experience. Maybe there's an associate engineer they join for the
Mhm.
experienced engineer, and then they also get experience over the time, right?
Yeah.
But you need to show some, like if you want to go above and beyond the competition, you need to
Mhm.
show them demo projects or maybe some practical demo or some GitHub repo where you have shown your practical skills, or maybe in front of them show them something that they will get impressed. That way you can make a score there. I mean, without nothing, they don't
Yeah.
know about you.
Yeah,
You
so
need
I
something to show.
totally agree with you on this. So maybe Gaurav, what you can do is you can have a sample project created,
Yes.
like maybe a 3 tier project or a 2 tier project, or just a static website that you could create. You try to host it to any of your cloud. So nowadays, people what are doing? So they are creating their resume as a static website
Yes,
and hosting it on a cloud provider, right? Maybe Azure, AWS, GCP,
yes,
whatever.
three or some kind of
Yeah,
solution, right?
and then like you can do a lot of thing with that project, so that is not just resume. So first you can use this as your resume, the URL of that website. Then you can implement the infrastructure using that. Then you can automate the CICD using the tools. And then you can also automate that infrastructure as well using Terraform. So there are a lot of things you can do, and it will cover many of the things that recruiters or the hiring managers are looking these days. So yeah, so resume is just an example. You can take any
Yes.
projects that you feel comfortable with.
I will
Yeah.
suggest particularly here one e-commerce,
Mhm.
one any IoT communication side, duplex communication. That's
Mhm.
good to show.
Yeah.
Some anywhere running. So right now, some distributed solutions or distribution, like that's like if you want to impress them by one look, have some distributed projects like blockchain, distributed blockchain deployment and all. Like they will say when is your joining date? Just join
Yeah.
us. Like if you want that kind
How
of thing,
much
so they will
salary will you take? Just tell us that.
like kind of that, and they're
Yeah.
paying more than 30, 40 even for the freshers if they have a very good experience. Now that's exceptional case.
Yeah.
If you have really exceptional skills, no, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
see, IIT guys, those guys in different colleges also get very good package because of the skills and experience they they get prior to them and applying for the position.
Mhm.
People see the big packages, but they
Yep.
don't see the hard work and what are the
Yep.
demos and everything they prepared to get this job. So that's the behind the scenes story.
Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, we have another question from Himani, and she is asking, do you think these days just shell scripting knowledge is enough for DevOps? Any suggested language I should learn?
No, no, as I say in the beginning, it's like
Yeah.
it's necessary to learn shell scripting, okay, but you need another backend programming language, say Python. I will highly suggest Python because you can do anything with Python, any backend. I mean, anything you want, you can do
Mhm.
by Python. You have all the possible libraries available in Python that will be really helpful.
Yeah.
So I will suggest my first preference should be Python,
Yeah.
and
But
if
even
someone
though,
say,
yeah, sorry,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry,
Yeah.
no, I mean, second choice will be the Golang. Now you can go ahead.
Go. Okay. Yeah. But even then, as you mentioned, so shell scripting is the basic building block of our
Yes,
DevOps.
basic building blocks,
Yeah,
right?
because it go hand in hand with the Linux administration part, and if you know the Unix command and everything, then you'll
And
be pretty comfortable with shell script as well.
if you look at, I mean, you're already doing some CICD. So what do you do in CICD? We write self scripting there
Yeah. Yeah.
behind the scene, right? I
Yeah.
mean, behind the scene, what do we run? We are running commands as a
Yeah.
self script, right? So I mean, ultimately, self scripting is actually the set of the commands, right? So commands you should know that they can form as a shell script because
Yeah.
self scripting. Why you need to pass on like say, exporting the variables, importing variables, processing JSONs, do some complicated stuff. So you should understand the JSON for that. I mean, the scripting and programming you need it because sometimes it become overcomplicated that you cannot possibly handle in the sales scripting. It's
Mhm.
must use case where you have to use programming language.
Yeah.
So that's why it's required.
That's great. That's great answer. Thank you. So now Rex is asking, so DSA is needed for cloud and DevOps.
Good old question. Now the thing is, if your target is big tech, say Google, I think you already passed the DSA. Yes or no? I
No,
mean,
there
there,
was no
there's a
DS.
yes.
There was no DSA for
Oh,
cloud role. Yeah. Yeah.
that's great. But DevOps role, I think, might be
I guess
for
it
pure
depends
cloud.
upon from
Yeah,
role to role and from
position role to
company
role
to
wise.
company. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
so that depends, but for DevOps position, I mean, top companies at least, because they expect the
But
programming
actually,
experience also.
there is a difference, right? Because I'm not in DevOps right now. I'm working as a cloud engineer.
Yes.
So Rex, to answer your question, for cloud engineer, if it's just a cloud engineer role, so DSA no. But for DevOps role, it depends upon
Yeah,
company to
because
company.
programming is a
Yeah,
parameter there, right?
yeah, yeah,
As a
yeah,
building block there. So
yeah.
that's required. But again, not all companies ask for it.
Mhm. Yep, that's
Only
correct.
top companies ask for some DSA, algorithm and all that. But medium or normal general companies, like IT companies and all, they don't ask for complicated DSA and all.
Yeah.
So it depends company to company.
Yeah.
But
And
it's not
also, like, yeah,
mandatory.
Google, I guess, doesn't have that DevOps role. They have this SRE role, which
Yes,
was created
SRE.
by Google, and it is similar to DevOps. But yeah, in that I know that there is a DSA for that.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Hi Praveen, thank you for joining. So Praveen is also here. So if you know Praveen, so I did my first podcast with him, and
Oh, great.
on his channel, and he was the one who motivated me to do this podcast. So
Great,
I'm
great,
here
great.
today. Thank you very much, Praveen. So we have another question from Prakash, and he's asking, I have been working in company for 12 years now with cloud and DevOps expert, but I'm not sure what is next in career path. What do you suggest for
Okay.
12-year experience to do?
Oh, same experience as me. So what I will suggest that I have different goals. Okay, to be honest, I have a different learning and teaching goals.
Mhm.
Along with that, I'm learning the blockchain and all that because that's the So you have to look at what is the future. To me, as a fact of more interesting, there are two paths: a more of the AI part and more of the blockchain and distributed application development. And
The
I
niche
found AI,
skills. Yeah.
yeah. So I found that AI, if I sarge upar, like above the head, I'm not that skilled in machine learning and all. I'm expecting that, not a stat guy, to be honest. And
Yep.
everyone around me like, know that part. They know,
Mhm.
but I'm technically really good. And blockchain and distributed app require technical skills, not
Mhm.
your AI and model building, all the skills. I can run
Mhm.
models and all if a AI engineer can give me.
Mhm.
So I thought, okay, where I don't have any interest, I'm not finding that that interest and that goosebumps.
Yeah.
Let's not go for
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I found that, so again, so where you are finding your next interest, goosebumps, and I'm interested to learn this. I can
Mhm.
try this out. If fail, no
Yep.
matter what, I will just try it out. So that you have to try, because you're a DevOps and cloud expert, but you are not, you didn't try the blockchain yet. I'm very much sure of it. So
Mhm.
try the blockchain and try the distributed application, because that's the next thing in the
Yep.
cloud. If
Yep.
you see, there are a lot of requirement in the cloud for distributed application,
Mhm.
for blockchain and this kind of application. So that should be your next goal. That's where
Mhm.
the money lies right now.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so you should always look for two things. One is where the growth is. Another is which, like,
Yes,
whatever gives you that kick, right?
yes,
So
yes.
that
True.
kick is also important. Otherwise, you will get a good salary, but you won't love your job or you won't enjoy it. And then again, you'll be in the same position, like you don't know what to do next, and you don't know what your career is taking towards, right? So yeah, thank you. Okay. And so we have another question from Rex. Sir, I am college student in fifth semester, and how do I apply for cloud role?
Actually, I have a very good answer for that. I just was talking in the morning with a guy who is I think around like around fifth sim, and he got a job around for 28 lakh in Bangalore.
Yeah.
And what he did, he did internship, okay, and in the as a college activity, and college didn't recommend it. He applied to each and every company that he's interested in. He
Mhm.
applied to 100 companies. He got selected in one,
Okay.
and he got an interview, like
Mhm.
a lot interview. He
Mhm.
selected and got job. There is absolutely no shortcut. You have to
There's
go
no
through
shortcut.
100 and 100
Yeah.
rejection.
Yeah.
One opportunity will come to you. Like for
Yeah.
me also, I was a BCom guy, right? If you don't
Mhm.
know me, I mean, I'm a BCom guy. Later on, I did MCA while working for the companies, IT companies. So
Okay.
I had to see rejection in another level.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
when the experience comes, nobody asked me the degree.
Yep.
Except
That's
is the
true.
SOC
That's true.
verification and other those things like background verification. Like
Mhm.
nobody asked for the skills. I mean,
Mhm.
not skills and other the education and all, because
Yeah.
they want the skills more. And once
Yep.
they see my skills, nothing matters afterwards. Like
Yep. That's
Sandeep is
true.
there, he will do it. This guy will do it. So
Yeah.
those are the things you have to achieve over time.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So yeah, so Rex, as Sandeep mentioned, it'll, like, you just have to be
Yeah.
consistent enough in applying to the jobs, and just never gives up, and just keep going for it, and like there'll be a day when you'll be at right place
See
at the
what
right
what
time,
what
and
happens. What happens when you keep giving interviews. You will
yeah,
develop your skill, like interview giving skill. Interview giving is
yeah,
also the
yeah,
skill.
yeah,
No
that's
one,
true.
like not like everybody can do that. If you're a guy and never given an interview, you will be fumbling. You will be
Mhm.
crying in front of internally. You will be crying in front of a
Yes,
recruiter.
that's
But
true.
if you're a seasoned person, you have a lot of experience. The
Yep.
recruiter might cry inside in front of you, because the question they will be asking, you might already know the answer. You can confuse them.
Yeah.
So that is the difference. Over the
Yeah.
time you'll get.
Yeah, that's true. Because like I have seen many people who are really good at what they do. They have good knowledge, they have good skill set, but when it comes to the interview, they don't perform well. They just can't
Yes.
express themselves, and they, just gives up in the middle of interview. So yeah,
And
so this
there
is
is
really
another
important.
issue actually. One, if you're working with a lot of tech, even the experienced people, like for me also, I'm working with a lot of tech, Python, Golang, this, that, cloud, this cloud, and all, and then handling team. If suddenly I don't prepare well, like just
Yep.
for fun, I sometimes give interviews.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then just to see the I can handle that or not, okay, and I don't able to handle that. The next time I do prepare and give it, I'm 100% able to handle that, because
Yeah.
you need a very focused mind.
Yeah.
You need a very focused mind to answer all the questions. So
Yep.
focus, like digest all the questions, so that when your interview is over, you come back to your home and note down whatever you like. Maybe while traveling itself, have a pen and
Yeah.
notebook.
Yeah,
write it down. What are the questions you need to answer? Come back to home and then find the answers. That might actually
that's
help
really
you
good.
in
Yeah,
next
yeah.
time.
So just improve yourself after each and every
Exactly.
interview. Yeah, by learning
Exactly.
what you didn't know earlier and see how you are progressing through that. So and
Yes.
like as you mentioned, even if you are not going for the interview, just go for it for the sake of getting that interview experience and vibe. It's like, even if you are not going to buy a house, just go and see any open house that is listed in the market,
Exactly.
and then when you actually have to buy the house, you'll know what you need. You have that experience, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, that's
Exactly.
nice. Okay.
So
So
that remind me
Ashutosh
my
is,
house buying experience.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Ashutosh is asking from where we can get some CI/CD hands-on like prod
Oh,
environment.
actually, most of the cloud sites, even open source also, if you go to YouTube, you will see a lot of production level deployment. I mean, I learned from actually from YouTube videos or the people who doing the production deployment.
Mhm.
Literally, I did that. And in addition to that, all the cloud providers have their workshops. So suppose any cloud technology, say AWS, ECS, or EKS, or like this, and then search for the workshop, and you will 99% time find a workshop. They are showing you how they're doing production deployment. Just follow that, like how I learned like that way, because I never born with all this knowledge, right? I also find from some other
Yeah,
places. That's how I find from these articles, videos, documents. Like search about it. You'll do your experiment. You'll find it.
yeah.
So
That's
you have to
that's great
like keep
advice.
searching for all these answers.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's really great advice. Thanks, Sandeep. So Sishu Valuri is asking, to become cloud engineer, what must to learn, and to become DevOps engineer, what should be?
Okay. Like for cloud engineers, what like you're a cloud engineer, you can answer that one. I think that will be better for these
Become
people.
okay. So I would say again for the cloud engineer as well, the basic building blocks are same as there is to DevOps engineer, right? Linux administration, basic computer fundamentals knowledge, how system works and everything, networking infrastructure knowledge. So all the basic building block, troubleshooting knowledge, Linux administration, shell scripts and etc. And like any programming language such as Python and Golang, as Sandeep mentioned. On top of that, you should be proficient in like the basics of any of the cloud provider, like whether it's AWS, Azure, or GCP. Just try to do the basic certification course of any of the cloud provider. That will give you enough knowledge and experience to to show your skill sets in front of the interviewer. I'm not
Exactly.
saying that certification is mandatory. Even if you are not going for
Yes.
certification, just go
Right.
through the study material of it,
Yeah.
right? Because when you are asking someone like what is the learning path for a cloud provider or a cloud certification, then you will see a lot of articles, lot of blogs about talking about it. But the best way to do that, to find the learning path, is the certification learning path itself. So it will cover the basic building blocks of everything you are looking for. So just go for it, and you will find yourself in a better position.
Exactly. And I think that's a great answer. For DevOps engineer, I think the same, the tech, what Piyush said, exact same thing. What additional will say, infra as a code is mandatory these days. Like not mandatory, will say people preferring them.
It's
I
a
mean, all the clients
requirement. Yeah,
preferring
it's a
this. Yeah,
requirement, right?
requirement. The configuration management Ansible is a requirement these days. Monitoring, ELK and Prometheus Grafana is actually people preferring. So these are the things in general preferring, but each cloud have its own tools and all. I mean, you should go through a certification path at Piyush that will help you to master all those tools over time. Yeah. Okay, so
So
do
we
you
have
have
a
a
question
special
from Gautam. Yeah. So do we have
Gaurav, right?
database, especially development side guidance in cloud?
Okay, so there is DB engineer like DB administrator positions for like now these days all are cloud, right? This is a managed cloud, so most of the things actually getting handled by the cloud side, but still it need optimization, it need indexing, it need performance boost and all. So a DBA with good experience will able to pull all the performance from the particular, even is managed or non-managed, he should be or she should be able to do that. So of course there is a scope. There
So
is a
I
scope.
guess there'll be like a side role to it, but there is not a full-fledged role as a
Yeah,
DBA role in cloud, right? So it'll be like
yeah,
someone who's working as a cloud engineer and who's proficient in database performance tuning and handling. Like that person would be the preferred choice for them, right? So it's not, I guess, the must-haves. It's like nice to haves, I guess.
right.
And then we have a question from Venkati Pawar. I have 6 years of experience in data warehouse, Oracle, SQL,
Okay.
PL SQL, and ODI. Is this skills will help me to learn
Uh,
AWS?
Okay, now I will answer that to that actually. Now AWS have a lot of services. I forgot the count. I think even if you ask AWS engineers, they also
They
don't know
won't
the
even
count.
know it.
I asked them just for fun actually. I asked a very senior guy, like even senior than me, like, do you remember all the services? Sandeep, are you joking with me? Nobody can't. So, like, this is the reason. Now, they have the category security, compute, say, machine learning, database. Now, this fall on the database.
Yeah.
So, and to be more particular, it's about the RDS, relational database system. So, these are
Mhm.
the things might be useful there, but not as a whole. AWS is a very big, is a very vast.
Yeah.
You have like this is a kind of one bucket from a
Yeah.
ocean.
Mm.
So that yes, one bucket is good enough, helpful, but you have an ocean to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it'll these skills will definitely help you, but you should again have to have that basic infrastructure and networking knowledge, how AWS work or how any cloud provider works. So yeah. Then we have a question from Hemant Raj HS. Hi, I'm working as a cloud
Mm.
engineer. What should I
Okay.
learn for future?
Okay, so the cloud is a very big thing. I mean, we are still learning things. How I can say that? So see, it's a continuous thing. Every cloud provider have a lot of services, and one cannot possibly complete all in their even lifetime. There is always something new to learn. You will, I mean, as a part of a profession, also you'll keep learning. But in general, say the things that Piyush and I'm talking, I'm saying we are saying every single time self scripting, programming experience, SDK, like how to control cloud services via the SDK or programming. Those are the things you should focus as your next step. That I can say.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the big
true.
thing.
That's true. So, there was a saying that I was reading somewhere, and it goes, uh, IT is the only industry where we don't have nepotism. Forget about the children, even parents are struggling to upgrade their skills. So
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
that's what we are doing nowadays, right?
Yes,
Even though like you have 12 years experience, I have 10 years of experience, even now we are trying our best to upgrade our skills day by day. So yeah, just keep
exactly.
learning, keep going at it. As Sandeep also mentioned, like whatever gives you the kick and whatever has good future prospect, just go for it. So there is no right or wrong in that.
Exactly.
Okay, so Ashutosh is asking how is the future prospect of tools like Terraform, Ansible, and Kubernetes.
At least I will say for next 5 years, you don't have to worry. But look at to the market. I mean, every day actually, what I do, I wake up. I don't wake up many my family members. I wake up very silently. I do my brushing and then I bring my laptop and I look for the trending topics. What the tech people are talking about. Go to the article sites, that is Medium and all. They always the top things. In Google, I search about the top articles, top 10 technologies. Like daily, I do that. You know why?
Yep.
Something might emerge from the bucket. Like for example, React in a front end framework. Someday Facebook released the React and become a big thing. Like every engineer wanted. Same day, say Kubernetes. Someday some people implemented Kubernetes and all the mesos and all this previous or the container orchestration go down. So you have to have a eye for like look at and what see the community accepting it or not.
Yep.
If something community is accepting, have an eye for that and
Yep.
prepare silently or violently. It doesn't matter, but prepare for it. You might like when the Kubernetes came actually in the market. I started learning Kubernetes at the same time. It's getting momentum. I started learning. That helped me getting multiple projects,
Yep.
and I'm talking about money that is unmanageable. So, like, learn when you're seeing something emerging. Learn as fast as possible. If it's interesting, of course. Not interesting, leave it. Learn something
Yeah,
else.
yeah. And yeah, these tools like Terraform, Ansible, Kubernetes, I would say these are like the must-haves nowadays for any DevOps or cloud
Yes.
engineer. Like
Yeah.
if you have a cloud provider, if you have a cloud services, which I guess most of the companies has nowadays, or either planning to migrate to, like Terraform is a necessity. Like, either Terraform or any other infrastructure as a code tool, but Terraform is always preferable.
Always preferable. Yes.
Yeah, if your company is managing multiple servers, like again Ansible is a necessity. If you have a microservice based architecture, a Docker based architecture, or let's say you had that legacy stack and you are migrating towards the microservices, then Kubernetes is the necessity. There is no doubt in that. So yeah, I mean,
Yes.
like
The
future is
continuation
very
in
bright
general.
for these tools.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. In general.
Okay. So we have a question from Usha, presently working in AWS as associate TAM, which is technical account manager.
Manager.
Recently, as certified AWS solution associate. Can you guide me after SAA? Which certification is good? Basically, I'm interested in networking.
So I mean, she already given the answer itself. Go for the networking specialty. But yeah, I mean, if you are already done with the SSA, then you already have basics knowledge and it's good to go. You're already AWS stamp. That means have a very good backing behind you.
Yeah.
Just go for the that networking that like the
Specialty
extra
certification.
certification.
Mhm.
Prepare for it, and you will be eventually doing. At least have 2-3 months time in hand and prepare well for it. Then it will be you will be able to handle.
Yeah, and like, do you think any doing any professional certification before that specialty would have any extra advantage?
It will doesn't matter. The
Doesn't
complicated
matter.
complication level in this specialty are much higher. Even than see, the thing is when professional it still mix and match of services, other
Okay.
services.
Yeah.
But when we are talking about the specialty, it's purely networking.
Yeah. Only
And
networking.
networking in the sense the border gateway, the NAT gateway, the VPC, the
Like
CID and
everything,
log
A to Z
management,
of
everything.
networking. Yeah.
So that will be more specialty, and you should have the specialty knowledge to pass certification.
Yeah.
That's why I'm preferring directly go for that because you're into networking. You already have the SSA. That means you have a vast idea how the basic things work, how the services in combination work with each other. Then
Mhm.
you should go for the next thing that is networking specialty, where you'll be focusing most on the like networking things, pure core networking things. Now it's not to the level of CCN and all those things, but again it's complicated for
Yeah.
normal people. You are not working day or night. It's different beast for you. So you should prepare for it. Yeah.
We have a question from Udit Sharma. I am an experienced Java developer and trying to pivot to cloud on the cloud development side. Any suggestions for the same?
I think the skills are same again. We're not repeating ourselves. But I will say that start giving interview. Don't wait for the I will learn cloud and DevOps and then give interview.
Mhm.
Just have a basic idea, basic cloud, at least one cloud, AWS, I will say,
Mhm.
or GCP as well. Being your choice, but AWS is easy to start with. Then one programming language again, Python is easy to
Yeah,
start
he's
with.
a developer, so I
Java,
guess he is good with
so
that.
you already yes,
Yeah.
Java
Yeah.
you actually
Mhm.
he don't need other backend, but he might actually because even if you're a Java developer, in market right now people are preferring the Python and Go for their DevOps works for many good reasons.
Yeah.
Java
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
many good reasons they don't want because you'll be writing more and doing less, and the market going for the proficiency in write less and do more. So that's the basic difference. So yeah,
Yeah.
for
And
me
yeah, I guess like the Python has some really good frameworks such as Boto 3 that works really well with AWS SDK.
exactly.
So that would be a good start. And
Mm.
also, I guess if I remember correctly, you also had a session on that
Yes,
as well.
in Moto 3.
I recently saw.
It's a quick start guide. So if you go to my channel and there is a Python with Python for cloud, I think 3 videos are there enough to get started with the Moto 3. Even the code samples and everything is there. So just go and start immediately. That kind of thing. So there you can go for it.
So, are you guys planning to include other cloud-based projects products like Snowflake in the future session?
It's a Snowflake. That depends, but I think it's more for you. That's the question.
Yeah, maybe
So are you
like
looking for it?
if like as you said, like if community is accepting it, if it is something that we come across a lot and people are looking for getting trained on that, then sure, why not? Definitely.
Great. Yeah.
Questions for both of us: how do you find such jobs abroad outside India? So I guess this question has been like
Yeah.
I'm seeing this a lot lately. What do you think, Sandeep?
Yes, that's I mean, for you it will say how you get job on site. For me, how you get you outside of job inside India. I mean,
Mhm.
I do
Yeah.
work remotely, right? So we have both kind of question. It's a very smart
Okay.
question actually. So
Yeah.
you will answer how you got job
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
in
Sure.
Canada, and then I will answer how I got US job from Kolkata. So
Okay.
first you go, then I will tell my.
Okay, sure. So it's like I didn't get it from India directly. I migrated here on a visa, which is permanent residence. Right. I migrated here. I was jobless for some time, and I was working in India in Amdocs, Pune. Then I quit my job. I moved here and I started looking for it. And after a few days, I got job, and that's how I got the job. Like I was going through walk-ins and interviews from wherever I get the call, applying jobs online. Like that's what I've been doing when I landed here. So yeah, so there was no shortcut. I had to take the risk. I had to invest time in upgrading myself. I had to study for it. I had to work day and night to get the job. And yeah, so that's how I got my first job.
So guys, this is how what the reality looks like. You have to go through all this grinding process for getting a job, upskilling and all. You have to keep working hard for that. And for me, in the same reason, I have to pass on the because this different online sites. If you see freelancing sites, for example, there is bloodbath going on, and the people are willing to work for free, and I didn't like it, to be honest. Now I want to work for some US clients. They pay you the more than any Indian clients. That's the reality, hard reality. And so I tried initial level. I tried with the Upwork at a very long time. Then I got the one good client called Steve. Then I with his reference and all, I get more client. I got bit naming for like I make my own brand. That helped me later on find really great projects. I keep working on different US projects. Like I stopped taking any from last 12 years in general. I think I didn't walk in directly for any Indian client. Maybe I'm working for a US company, then working with Indian team, but not for direct Indian
Not
teams.
directly from
That's the so that, and the pay difference, of course, really high, and I enjoyed it. And even now also, I have really get offers to work for other companies. Again, for US companies, work from home and really get pay. I'm not going now because I want more like I want to see if I want enjoy any work doing. I stay a bit long for that. I really stay long. If I see the interest going away, I'm not enjoying my work. I'm not able to learn something new daily. I quit the job. Of course, after giving say 1 month time, that I may be switching to the here and there, and then I quit the job. So interest, the money, everything matters. To work really hard for preparation for all the interviews, because the interviews are never easy. They will be asking you tons of questions
yeah.
that you take, how you will handle the situations. Of course, there is DSA round. I unfortunately or fortunately I had to face the DSA round for my last job and all. Then I found the like ultimately after in giving countless interviews, reviews, code review, live coding, live peer review coding. Then they thought, okay, I am suitable for the company, and I'm working happily for many months right now.
Yeah,
Maybe yes,
yeah,
also
that's
we'll
that's
work
great.
there. So
That's
that's
great.
how. I mean, you learn, you pass on the interviews, you will see the failures, learn from the failures,
Mhm.
and you will eventually get your dream job. That's that's how you get the outside India
Yeah, just
opportunity.
keep applying. There'll be a day when you will get it. Yeah. So
Exactly.
just keep doing it. So another question from Seshu: which one is the good source to learn K8s and get hands-on?
Hmm. I think if you're willing to pay Code Cloud, I think no doubt Mumshad this is a really great job. I'm
Yeah,
commending this. Like, he's pay
yeah,
for
yeah.
India at least the cost is really low.
Mhm,
Like any guy, like if you see just about Kubernetes,
mhm.
go to the site. If you are not willing to pay, you are having financial constraints, then in YouTube there is Nana's
Yeah.
channel is there,
Mhm.
very really explained.
Really good.
I did one Kubernetes session, but then onwards I'm really busy. You know the reason, house moving and this and that.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't able to do a lot of things for a lot of reasons.
Mhm,
I'll soon will do something really great things are coming, of course. But again, I'll keep that secret for now. It will like upcoming. But yeah, for now, YouTube there are a lot of good, full length like 14 hours, 20 hours, those kind of videos available free of cost. You can go for that. Make sure to enable the ad blocker. Otherwise, you'll be bombed with ads. I do enable that one anyway. Even I'm making YouTube ad money, but still. So yeah, I mean that's one way. You have Code Cloud, you have the official documentation of Kubernetes. Each cloud provider again have their own workshop and Kubernetes services.
Yeah,
Like AKs have one, Google have one, and AWS have one. So refer to them, and you'll be good to go.
yeah. That's great. Then DevOps and cloud engineering overcrowded. I don't think
Over
I
that,
understand.
I see at this moment it's not, but eventually it will.
Uh-huh.
Like what you see, what happened with PHP? PHP is 90 something percent is world running sites in PHP, right? Now they're migrating, say everyone saying performance is going down, this and blah blah. So
Yeah, yeah,
now
yeah,
moving to Python,
yeah.
or maybe JavaScript or Go, this kind of things. Go maybe very, who are very serious, they're going for the Go because of
Yep.
multi-core threading and multi-processing. But yes, there's a movement happening.
Yep.
But skill set in those programming are actually less than PHP because PHP more developer,
Mhm.
overcrowded, the
Yep.
funding is low, the demand is low, the supply
Yep.
is high, the
Yep.
engineers getting paid way less, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
a similar thing will happen and may happen over time for DevOps and cloud engineering.
Yep.
So that's why, like for me also, I'm learning, blockchain. I'm learning the distributed financing.
Yep.
Why? Because I know that one day might happen. I'm
Mhm.
just making
Yeah.
my options.
Yes, yes, that's true. Yeah, you should always prepare for the worst, and like this is the reality, guys. Right? There is nothing permanent in this world, and not even in IT at least. Right? Like we are changing so rapidly. We are moving from physical servers to VMs to virtual to the Docker based, and then to serverless, and all the previous
Good
technologies
examples.
they are
Yes.
getting obsolete. Like no one would see a floppy disk nowadays. So just prepare yourself for what is coming for you, and just keep working towards it. Maybe, like as you said, DevOps and cloud engineering role will be overcrowded, or it is right now. But then if you have a special skill set, if you are good at what you do, then there'll always be a job for you. So keep
Exactly.
upgrading yourself, keep learning, and like Sandeep mentioned, look for the things that have
Yes.
a more demand, less supply. Blockchain, AI, serverless, maybe, just go for it.
Yes.
Rakesh is asking, I have a total 8+ years of experience, no regular full stack engineering. I want to move into cloud DevOps.
Think the skills are all same. We just go for the interviews. The same thing. I don't know repeat myself. I know it maybe join later on, but same thing. Learn the skills that is required for DevOps. Give interviews. Get the feedbacks. Negative feedbacks. Focus more on that, and just keep giving and you'll pass. Learn the things that you're missing. That's how do it.
Yeah, that's great. We have another questions from
Are
Gaurav.
you planning to
He's asking, are you planning to put some preparation guide platform like Medium for certification listing? How one should prepare and providing links and reference to courses, documents, or hands-on? Okay,
Are you
so
planning?
if it is a question for me, I'm too
Yes, for
soon
you, I
in
think.
I'm too soon in what I'm doing right now, so it'll be too soon to say anything. Maybe in future, yes, I have some plans. Let's see how it goes, and I will keep you guys updated. And what you say, Sandeep? What are your plans?
I mean, I already have it for DevOps guide already 2021-22 available in my LinkedIn article section. Anyone can go and read. I put very much, I say 2 weeks or 3 weeks effort I've given to make this all this article.
Okay.
So anyone can go there, and even learning resources also in the article itself. So they can just go and learn it.
Yep.
But thing is that everything's always keep changing. I mean, you
Yeah.
just look at one
It's
course
hard
today
to
and
keep it updated, right? It's really
yeah,
hard to
so
keep it
you
updated.
have to put your own effort to go to
Yeah.
Udemy, search for the course and see what is the top rated, highest updated course, latestly updated, and go for that. Like, that's how I did. I'm still doing that behind the
Yeah, so
scenes.
so there are some like if you go to Udemy, so there are some guys that are really good at what they do. For example,
Yes,
AWS, there is a guy Stephen Merck,
Stephen
and
Mihawk. So
so
yes,
he's
was
he's
really good.
he's amazing. So I have taken his courses and I have learned a lot of things from that guy. So yeah,
Exactly.
so just go for it. And as far as the platform is concerned, yeah, definitely we'll think about it and see what we can do. So yeah, so okay, it's not a question, it's rather an advice. Each failed interview is a mock interview for a real one, which are waiting for us. Think and positive. That's true, Isha. Thank you very much
That's
for
reality.
sharing. Yes, that's true. Okay, so Kalhar Saraj is asking, how do you know that now is the time to change?
You will know. You have a gut feeling.
You'll
Exactly.
know.
It will develop. You will know.
Yeah,
There is no right or wrong thing, like no right or wrong time. You will just see a time to change.
yeah,
Then will happen,
yeah,
and you'll understand. You will make a change.
yep.
So no one can actually tell that because it's kind of very personal to yourself.
Mhm.
Like you will know when you're thinking of change. I know. I have a feeling how am I change? Maybe next year,
Yeah,
maybe after 2 years. Like so, there
Yeah.
is
So
own that feeling also.
yeah. So Kalar, if you are asking this question, that means you are not ready to change yet. So you'll get to know when you are ready to change.
Yes,
There are
yes.
many motivation factors. There are several factors. Everyone has their own priorities. So money, good work life balance, a great working environment, either one of those or combination of those will construct in what you are looking for, right? So if you are not thinking about any of those, if you are not worried about any of those, I guess you are doing good already. So thank you for that question. So we have Siva Krishna asking, how will
How
be
will
future
the
and
chase salaries for
future
Google? That's question for you, I guess. I don't know how much
I'm
the cloud data
actually,
engineers get.
yeah, I'm actually not very familiar with the data roles that we have in Google. But again,
Yeah.
like data engineering role has evolved a lot in past few years.
Hmm.
Like be it any cloud provider or so yeah, it's really great. So if you are getting that kick from it, go for it. So there's always gonna be job. There always gonna be people who looking for data analytics and data engineering roles. And yeah, there is a lot of there is a lot to learn from one tool to another, from one cloud provider to another. So I guess you'll get a good salary, and I don't think you have anything to worry if you choose that role. But just make sure you have ample interest in that role and you are ready to put your 100% efforts towards learning and implementing everything. Okay, so
That's
Gaurav
a good
Diman
question.
is asking,
Okay.
I saw the transition happening from rack
From
and chases to VMware and
yes.
now cloud. That's true. Curious to know what should be coming next. Just pass, SaaS, enjoy the infra side of IT. So, how to prepare myself for next? That's really a good question.
I mean, we are always preparing ourselves because see there is always the VM that virtual machines came, right?
Mhm.
Then people are saying, okay, virtual machine also you have to manage and you cannot run multiple type application with multiple varieties of dependencies. Then again another virtualization layer that you can run containers, right? Then containers very it's getting hard to manage, right? Then there is the invention of these container orchestration tools like Kubernetes, meshes and all that. Then you have a tool to monitor all these things.
Yeah,
So you are having Prometheus, Grafana, and ELK stack. Then you see, okay, we need rotation. So the rotation and all that came, the storage in S3 and all this.
mhm.
Always there is a necessity. It's the creation. Like
Yeah,
necessity is the motive behind the creation of new things.
yeah,
So
true.
always do things and you will see there is a need and you learn that. That's how I do it
Yeah,
at least.
and whenever the trend is changing, you will see it is happening,
You
right?
will see it. If you are
When
working in
when,
the fields,
when
then you will see it.
yeah, when cloud came
Yeah.
into the picture, you see a lot of companies started adopting cloud. Started with AWS, and then Microsoft jumped into it. Alibaba, Oracle, GCP, every company started their own cloud services. So you see there was a trend that AWS started, and people started following it, and people started looking for job. Hiring managers are looking for cloud proficients. And the same way, like right now, if you see, there is a trend going on for automating all those things that infrastructure was handled manually till now,
Yeah.
right? So you will see, now we are moving to serverless, and we are trying to do AI, ML, all those things. So you are already seeing a trend over there. So you should prepare. You should always prepare for what is coming next. And yeah, so and also, like with Kubernetes, even though it's a managed service, there is a lot of operation that goes behind the scenes. So if you are good with infra side, then you should work towards that part as well. Like Kubernetes is also a good way to go. Again, question from Gaurav Dhiman: is it possible to switch from infra to data engineer? Please suggest what are required to make it
Of
a
course,
switch.
data engineers, I mean, data engineers have his own set of tool like data modeling, data deviations, data cleanup, and all that. Like
Mhm.
the data engineers courses you should follow and then you learn and do it. When you're not data engineers, we cannot answer that very,
Yeah.
very gracefully. But that's how we do it. I mean, suppose you are going to become infra engineer, then you should understand how the cloud infra you can create manually, how to create the same thing automatically via scripting or via the infra as a code tools, like those kind of things. How to manage that, how to monitor it. Same thing applies for the any other roles. They have their own requirement. You have
Mhm.
to go through and fulfill it.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah, and that's really a very valid point, Sandeep. And I also would like to add something to here. So as I mentioned before as well, like the way I do it and the way I think would be the best way to do is whenever you're trying to make a transition to any role, let's say within cloud, you are trying to move from infra to data role, just go for any data engineering certification. Right? If you are
Exactly.
working with Azure data engineer is there. For AWS, there is database specialty, I guess, and
It's
GCP
there.
also recently
Yeah.
launched one
Launch
beta
their professional data. Right.
certification for data engineering. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you start preparing for it, you will get to know what all the things the certification part is focusing on, and then you will know what you have to focus on. Right. So either you go for the certification or not, that's a different story. But if you are going for it, then it's a good thing. If you are not, then just make yourself proficient in the topics that was part of that certification curriculum, and it will be really a good way to learn and good way to make your switch from infra to data engineer. Okay, this question is for me, I guess. Gunjan is asking, what is the biggest challenges you faced after coming to Canada in terms of change in office environment and any pros and cons? Okay, so yeah, it was really great experience for me. Like I used to work in an environment where there was no day and night, where shift starts at 9 and there is no end time of it. I worked 18 hours in a row, and then my manager said, okay, you go and take some rest and come back in 4 hours. And it was like someone is doing something for me. So I used to work in that environment, and most of the people working in India are, right? But that has changed when I moved here, right? When I got my first job, I was working with Citibank. Even though it was a production support role, I never had to spend more than 8 hours. Right? I had to work on weekends sometimes, but I used
I
to get
will
the compo
I
for
will
that.
say one line here actually. I will say the job that you do for very cheap cost, very cheap, okay, very cheap jobs
Yeah.
that take more time and then give you less salary.
Yeah.
The job you do for those kind of salary
Mhm.
that value your time
Yeah.
and give you more money.
That's
You will
true.
find it when you get experience, and have a lot of money coming in and all.
Mhm.
That I have seen because when my position increased, when I have the good knowledge on all of the tools, technologies, and stacks, the compensations become very huge, of course,
Mhm.
and the number of hours I put become automatically become lower. And
Mhm.
anyway, it never crossed me more than 8 hours.
Yeah.
So I mean, in India, it's also improved. Maybe for me, it doesn't matter much.
Yeah.
But I'm a family man. I have a lot of things. I think YouTube, this and that. I mean, other things going on. The things are going on.
Yeah.
So I still have all this time because I have a fixed 8 hours time. Or
Yeah.
that,
Mhm.
I'm free.
That's true. Like you decide your own schedule, even
Exactly.
though it doesn't matter like how big the company is that you are working for. Uh, like I'm talking about the big consulting brands such as Accenture, TCS, Infosys. Like if you are part
There,
of one of those, like even though they are big brands, but they'll make you work like anything, right?
the
And
thing, if you have the power to say no or power to do anything,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
then you have the power to stay at 8 hours, 8 hours kind of thing.
yeah, yeah,
But if you don't have knowledge and experience and all those things that is required to say no, or
yeah,
required, like, people, if they think that you are easily replaceable, they will make you work hard to replace you soon
mhm,
enough.
yeah.
But if
That's
the people think you are irreplaceable, or you are a very valuable resource,
true. Mhm,
like a product company. I mean, if you go to a product company, they will, if you have the skills, of course, then only you get chance to product companies, and
yeah,
they will treat you like that. You are the
yeah,
customer is king, but you are more king than that.
yeah, yeah,
Like, please work in your own convenience. You have your MacBook, like whatever it is, will provide. You need water, food, whatever you need will provide. Just do our work very, very patiently or very focused way.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. If you have the skills and all that, other things will automatically get corrected. But if
Mhm.
you're losing that, I mean, you're not working towards that,
Mhm.
then yeah, you will be out of that
Yeah.
workforce
Yeah.
that overwork themselves.
Yeah. I guess I derailed the question from the like what
The
was
original to
asked.
that, right?
So, yeah. So yeah. So to
Mm.
just to add to that, the other changes that I found in terms of office environment and everything, people respect you. You know, people respect your opinion, and like most of the companies and teams, they don't play blame games within each other. Uh, and yeah, it's really good, and it is really a positive experience for me so far. So I have worked in 3 or 4 different companies till now over here, and every company that I worked for was amazing. So yeah, it was really good. Okay, then we have another question from Gaurav. What are your pastimes when you're not talking about cloud, Kubernetes, Terraform,
Okay.
etc.? I,
Okay, so
I'm
you
quite
go your
not sure if
first.
I'm
So
quite
he is
not sure if
saying,
I understand the question.
okay, so he's asking like if you're not working on the tech things, like not working, then what you do, or how you spend your times. That's I think he was asking. Like past time we're not talking about, like in the family we don't talk about
Okay.
Kubernetes,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
That's what's asking.
I used to wait a lot. I used to waste a lot of my time watching Netflix, Amazon, and
That's normal. That's normal. Don't worry. I mean,
but
everybody
now I
wants to do it.
don't do
I
it.
do it. So
Now
I
I don't
was.
do it. Now I do it only
Hmm,
when I'm just really tired, or when I have to take a break, or during the weekend. That's when I do. Like it was like right now, it's not part of my daily routine. Earlier, it was part of my daily routine, right? And
so
yeah,
when
I
you're
used
over,
to I used to
yeah.
play online games, which I miss a lot now. It's because like most of the friends that I used to play with, they had some other priorities. They are working to upgrade their skills nowadays, and yeah, so we don't have time to do that anymore. But yeah, that's what I have been doing.
Yeah, good.
So yeah,
For me, it's like playing with the daughter, bought new house, so wetting it. I do love gardening. Also,
but
people
but
don't
that
know
is
that.
now, right? Your daughter is just few months
Oh,
old.
before
She's
that,
still,
I
yeah,
was
before
too.
that.
So I have a. I mean, by looking at the gaming chair, you guys know that I was a gaming pro. Not pro say, but I was used to play a lot of games. I mean, making videos and all like that I used to, but also like it's not. It's not. I'm always interested in making videos on content. Sometimes I just want to enjoy myself. So I go out with my friends. I go to even singly to different cities or maybe country, and experience myself like that. So that's how I spend time. Like trying to find something that is interesting to
Yeah.
try out. Like the most interesting thing I found was to go to different places when people don't know you, and then don't expect anything from you, and then you talk to them, and
Right.
that's how you understand how the world works.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
from like even though I work as a remote, I do explore a lot of. I mean, till now, I have visited every single state except Rajasthan. So I have very high wish. I wish even maybe within few months like visit Rajasthan, but we'll see. That is the only pending state I have. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Travel,
Likewise.
meet people. Otherwise, you home, do gardening, spend time with family.
Mm,
Sometime, when too work like overworked, then I watch Netflix or like Prime, other OTTs and all. That's how
mm,
it's spend time.
yeah. That's good to know. And okay, let's take the next question.
I think
Siva
this is the
is
last question,
asking.
probably, right?
Yeah, actually, we are over the time now, and
Uh,
yeah. So Siva is asking how much experience
yes,
you have in IT.
experience.
Yeah, so I would say it's around 10.5 years or close to that. So 2012, I started with Accenture uh, in Bangalore. Yeah, that was my first job, and yeah, so yeah, I started as like a production support role, and then I moved from one role to another, from production support to DevOps, from DevOps to cloud, to DevOps to cloud, back and forth. So because DevOps and cloud, these two roles go hand in hand, and they are
Yes,
very
yes, yes.
related to each other nowadays. So yeah, I
Yeah.
worked in both those roles. Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess this is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope we'll see you guys soon again with some more exciting stuff. Sandeep, thank you very much for joining
Absolutely.
us today. It was really a pleasure, and I really appreciate you accepting my request and joining this session
Yes.
and
Glad to talk
imparting
to you.
your valuable knowledge with every one of us. I got to learn a lot of things today, and it was my first, live podcast, so it was really a good experience to have it with you. I cannot thank you enough for that.
No worries. I see the times we spend like fly like anything, like
Yeah,
boom, spent, right?
yeah,
Because when you're talking, take
yeah,
an interesting topic, it's spent like that. Really get glad to talk with you and
yeah.
answer all the questions. Hope to see you soon with other people sharing their
Yep.
knowledge and all. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. We'll be doing this more often from now. And yeah, we'll keep in touch. Thank you very much, guys. Signing off
Bye
now.
everyone.
Have a good day. Thanks.